when he was his primary defender last night. So Karl Anthony Towns really did feel like he was the X factor, obviously. I want to really quick, though, because we brought up Jalen Brunson. What were your thoughts when you saw Jalen Brunson go down in the beginning of that game yesterday? What was going on?
He had a heart attack.
He ended up being fine, obviously.
He's having a little PTSD from that quarter.
But what happened? What went through your mind?
I was sitting there, listen. I was standing in the tunnel, because that's what I like to do, because obviously, I'm a popular dude, so it's difficult.
Here we go.
It's difficult to sit in the stands and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
We doing this?
So I had to be, I was there. And when he heard his knee, when he got his knee banged into, I just turned around and left. I went to the back. I was sitting with Barkley and the crew because I needed to be assured. I needed to be assured that everything was going to be okay. And I want to give the NBA crew, along with my man Michael Wilbon, because we were all hanging together, I want to give them a major, major love because they kept my nerves calm. Because I don't know what I would have done if Jalen Brunson would have been out and he had not come back. When he was walking back to the locker room, and by the way, where we were sitting, they have to walk, the players have to walk past that to get to the court or to get back to their locker room. So I'm standing there in real time and I'm watching them limping. And this is not good. This is not good. I was very worried. And then on top of it all, when he got his ankle stepped on thereafter, I was highly upset. Scott Foster called nothing, whatever. I was highly upset about that. But then he just showed his guts. He showed what he was made of. And the New York Knicks showed what they made of. Because if you remember on television, I said yesterday, you got to make them, as Big Perk say, feel your cologne. You understand? Not just smell it, but feel it. The reality is that San Antonio can defend. They got a whole bunch of people who can defend on their squad. What you have to do, particularly with a young team, is frustrate them the way they're frustrating you. You know, it's all right. You want to defend, you want to shut us down. Well, damn it, we going to shut you down. So we shoot 30% from three-point range. You shoot 25% from three-point range. We shoot 41.5% from the field. You shoot 36% from the field. We made life just as miserable for you as you was trying to make for us. We played the long game, and we walked away victorious in game one. It's free to go.
Brunson scared everyone, obviously, early on, but then he dropped 13 in the fourth quarter, which mentioned it. He was kind of like the closer for the Knicks last night. Let's go to the other side. Let's go to the Spurs side of things now, because Victor Wembanyama dropped 26 points, but he shot just 6 for 21 from the field. It was obvious pretty early on that Wemby looked tired. I know you don't want to hear it, Perk, but you're going to hear it. Earlier this week, we actually talked about if that could be a concern. Wemby's fatigue or the Knicks' big men depth. Perk, you actually called this. You should want to talk about it. Listen.
I'm going with the Wemby fatigue because throughout the course of the conference finals, the games that they lost, the Spurs lost in the conference finals, Wemby looked tired. He looked exhausted. Wemby got a big and a tall task ahead of him.
To be able to eat up at that space, and we have to give credit to Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Probably the most impactful 3 points we have seen in the postseason with 15 rebounds, 13 of those defensive, which is wild. I think 6 assists and I believe 4 steals. So they are swarming on the back end. We have not seen Victor Wembanyama bottled up. And I've always said that Victor doesn't count as one player. It's almost like he's 3 with his strides when he gets downhill. And they have 3 defenders, 1 physically with him at the top of the key, 2 on the wing, all connected to just slow Wemby down. And so, yeah, you look at the 26 and 12, those are good numbers for any player, but it's not how he scored. It's the manner in which he had to work and fight in order to try to have a chance.
All right, wait, don't go yet. Really quick. You guys didn't really answer my question. You talked about how good the defense was for the Knicks. But are you worried at all about Wemby, considering that he did look tired yesterday?
I am. And it's not just the fatigue, it's who he's facing. Karl Anthony Towns is not going to stop. I saw him in the tunnel. I saw him walking out to the floor. He had his hoodie on his head. Me and him spoke for a brief minute, and that man got a certain level of focus. Hell, his voice done changed in this postseason. When you hear him do his post-game interviews, it went from being squeaky to now all of a sudden he has a deep voice. All of a sudden you can see the level of focus. I'm telling you right now, Wemby is going to have a problem in this series, and it's okay. The Spurs should be worried.
I'm not so worried about Victor Wembanyama. Okay. That was game 1. And it's not just how, again, y'all, I'm not so worried about your guy, the alien, okay? We see the alien over there. It's because this was game 1. It's chess, not checkers. We're going to see different moves, especially down the stretch. If the Spurs play decent basketball the final 2 minutes, we might be having a different conversation today. Also, Dylan Harper didn't play that much in the fourth quarter. To me, that was a little bit problematic. The guy who was cooking, and I believe in the postseason has made history as the most points scored as a rookie in a Spurs uniform. And so I think there's some adjustments to be made to take pressure off of Wemby. And a lot of Wemby's problem is that you can see how much he wants it on every possession. He needs to find his flow state, and I think we'll see that at home, game 2.
Floor is yours. Go ahead.
I think you make a valid point about Wemby in that regard. My primary concern for him is, do you know how to dial it back to conserve your energy for when it really, really counts? He's going to have to figure that out. The finals is a different animal.
Yep.
And the Knicks are a different beast because they're coming for him. Oklahoma City didn't come for him. They tried to navigate around him. New York Knicks are coming for him.
Yeah, sure.
When you got a guy like Karl Anthony Towns that's getting up in your mug, he's basically trying to do to you what you do to everybody else. And he's trying to send that kind of message. So Wemby's going to have to figure that out. But I'm not going to lie to you. The bigger concern is something you touched on. And I'm going to put it this way. It's coaching. This is not Greg Popovich. This is Mitch Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Shut the hell up and let me finish. Here's the deal. When you look at the coaching, here's why. Dylan Harper was balling, but De'Aaron Fox was having an awful game. 3 of 13 shooting, 7 points, turnovers all over the place, 0 for 4 from three-point range. And as the lead diminished, you don't know to go back to Harper? Of course the coach knows. So that's loyalty. That's a cat that's been, not in the finals, but been in the playoffs before. We all know that De'Aaron Fox could ball. But when you are struggling the way he was struggling, and you see the Knicks tucking away at your heels, you got to respond to that. Dylan Harper was balling. You got to put him back in the game. And the fact that they didn't put him back in the game and they left De'Aaron Fox, don't tell me Coach Johnson doesn't know what's going on. The man can coach. He knows what he's doing. So why wouldn't you make that move? Because you got cats that got you there and you want to believe in them. And I'm saying you can't do that in the finals. In the finals, every game is its own entity. You have to be about the business of, all right now, this is what the hell we need. You got to sit cats down before the game. Hell with your feelings. This ain't about the feeling. We're trying to win a championship. Whatever it takes. So understand, just like the Knicks in Game 1 against the Cavaliers, Josh Hart was having an awful game. Landry Shamet was cooking. What did Mike Brown do? He left Josh Hart on that bench, and he kept Landry Shamet out there. We trying to win a championship, and Josh Hart had no problem with it. But the San Antonio Spurs didn't do that last night. If Champagne is cooking in the first half, you got to make sure you set him up to cook in the second half. If Dylan Harper is balling in the first half, and he's balling throughout the game, you can't take that brother out. He's not a rookie anymore. The brother's special.
Yeah.
He is special.
Yeah.
And when he's playing like that, you can't have him sitting around playing the role of spectator because you got a cat out there that can't make a shot just because he's a veteran. That is not a mistake you make in the finals. Pat Riley is a veteran coach that did it. And I love me some Pat Riley, but it cost the Knicks the championship. That Game 7. You understand what happened in 94? You got Rolando Blackman on the bench. You got to put that man in there. You can't just go with your guy that's missing everything that particular game in John Starks. Game 6, John Starks was great. Game 7, it was a struggle. You got to pull him up out of there and put Rolando Blackman up in there. You, Mitch Johnson, you got to pull De'Aaron Fox out of there. You got to say, sit down, my man. Dylan Harper's cooking. You got to do that.
So who let you down more? Was it Wemby or Mitch Johnson?
Mitch.
Coaching. Okay. What do you think? Who let you down more?
I want to hear what she said.
No, I want to hear what you say, big bro.
No, you know why.
Go ahead, Shanae.
You know why.
So yesterday on NBA Today, I said that Mitch Johnson had been doing a great coaching job in the postseason. I wasn't talking about this series. He believes it comes down to coaching. But what I do admire about Mitch, besides going to Stanford University, was the fact that Mitch has brought out the best in this young squad. Victor Wembanyama is 22 years old. Stephon Castle is 21 years old. Dylan Harper is 20 years old. And so they're learning on the fly, and I respect how Mitch has brought life to this squad to feel like they can compete. They are the second youngest squad, I believe, to make the NBA Finals. Put some respect on their name and on his name with that regard, okay? But secondly, You know who Dylan Harper reminds me of? Stephen A. He thinks not thinks. You are the man, okay? You walk through, the energy, it shifts at times, right? The person I felt that same way about yesterday was Manu Ginobili, who was in the building.
Yeah.
And I saw him and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I watched Dylan Harper play, and you see shades of his game. The herky-jerky, the wheeling around off of corners, the crafty finishes at the rim. I know you love Dylan Harper. I think we're going to see a heavy dose in the finals moving forward. But I'm going to give you your love. You said Mitch is going to come down to this game, and you got it a little bit. Just a little bit. I said up until that point.
She left a part out.
Oh, what part?
She got a bit, what's our word? Truculent.
Truculent?
Yeah, she got a bit truculent with me yesterday on NBA Today when I said one battle that we need to keep an eye on is the battle of the sidelines. And I highlighted that Mike Brown is a two-time NBA champion as an assistant coach. And Mike Brown has shown us throughout the course of these playoffs that he's willing to make adjustments. You just highlighted one of them when he benched Josh Hart in the fourth quarter. Mitch Johnson, he got to take ownership for losing this game. Dylan Harper is in that game. I believe the outcome could have been different, the way that he was cooking offensively. And then you have to go to the defensive side. You know, they got a defensive genius over there on that New York Knicks bench. A guy that I won a championship. That's a shade of that's a offspring of Tom Thibodeau, shall I say? Right, Darren Erman. He's been there with Tibbs. He's that defensive specialist. And then when you go and you look at Sean Sweeney, right? He's supposed to be their defensive specialist for the San Antonio Spurs. It's a battle that's going on these sidelines. In-game adjustments, adjustments after games, all across the board. It's adjustments that are going to have to happen that's going to determine the outcome of this series.
All right, well, he's going to have to make some adjustments here before Game 2 on Friday because I am certain the Spurs do not want to go to New York City in the Garden down 0-2. Still to come here on